Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages and sizes, I am back and we are here. And as you can see, sneak peek number 2 is here via the Marvel Future Fight Twitter page. A deadly mastermind whose strength and skills are of legend enters the Marvel Future Fight V740 update inspired by Marvel Studios' Shang-Chi, the Legend of the Ten Rings. Who is powerful enough to defeat him? So these words actually have me very, very excited. In case you can't already tell, that is the Mandarin and those are the 10 rings. Now, some of you guys may not know who the Mandarin is, so I will explain to you why you should be excited for him, because he could give us what I've been hoping for like the past 2 months, and I feel like I'm not the only one, okay? But listen closely to the words they said here. A deadly mastermind whose strength and skills are of legend, right? Legend enters the Marvel Future Fight V740 update. Who is powerful enough to defeat him? So, here's the thing. I'm really hoping that this means we're getting a new world boss legend, because they say legend here, and they're saying we need to be powerful in order to defeat him. I'm really and truly hoping that the Mandarin is going to be our third world boss legend. Now, I know some of you guys are going to look at this and you're going to be like, okay, the Mandarin is definitely not on the level of a Mephisto or a Null. And you are correct. But in this video, I want to explain to you why, even though the Mandarin is not to the same caliber of someone like a Null or a Mephisto, he's still plenty powerful and he could make a very good world boss legend. And here's the thing. World boss legends, they actually make Marvel Future Fight, or they have the potential to make them money. The Future Fight devs, those legend difficulties actually stand to make them a good amount of cash. Right away, some of you guys are going to say the Mandarin is a pretty powerful character. He's fairly popular to comic book readers like OGs like myself, right? So they could easily make him a paywall. So because of that, and the fact that we haven't gotten too many new characters lately, they probably want to cash in on him. You guys are going to be throwing your panties in the air, losing your mind. Just be calm, guys. Right? Just keep in mind that, sure, we haven't gotten very many new characters, but when they have given us new characters, even if they end up being paywall in the long run, Monica Rambeau, they still found a way to give her away for free. Okay? Now, I do think we are going to get multiple characters in this update. It just stands to reason looking at the cast for the movie. So, it would not be a surprise if one of them get locked behind a hard paywall. I don't think it would be wise to make it Mandarin. He's a main part of this movie. Obviously, Shang-Chi is already free, right? And to be honest, Shang-Chi is the star of the show, so him being free, that's a major W. However, the Mandarin would make a really dope world boss legend because he's very powerful. But then on top of that, a lot of people would be rushing to go fight Mandarin as a world boss legend. And to do so, they would need to clear the challenges. And there's a couple big hurdles for new players coming to the game that they need to overcome to take on world boss legend difficulty. And those two, the two main ones that many people actually try to, I guess, skip, is building Quicksilver and building Scarlet Witch, because they eat up a lot of gold, a lot of black antimatter, a lot of bio. So what players usually do is pay crystals to skip over doing that. And then on top of that, there are other challenges that you have to clear when it comes to taking on these bosses, like beating them in 100 seconds, 150 seconds, beating them with XYZ character. A lot of those challenges, people don't have the characters, but they want to push as high as they can against Null and Mephisto. And if the Mandarin becomes a legend, guess what? Netmarble stands to make money off people trying to push as high as they can. You know how many whales have spent tens of thousands of crystals trying to push to stage 40, stage 50 Null Mephisto, right? they make way more money long term off a legend difficulty than they make from like $10 for a character once. Just say it, right? Pushing all the way to 99 and skipping all of the challenges, or at least a large majority of the challenges, that's more than $10. That's all I'm gonna say. So let's talk about Mandarin and why I think he could qualify for some type of boss fight. Maybe not a legend, definitely not a GBR. Like, he's not massive like a Master Mode or a Galactus. So I don't think he would make a Giant Boss Raid. But I'm holding out hope that they're going to revive Giant Boss Raid with the Eternal updates by bringing in a Celestial as like an extreme or a legend difficulty for Giant Boss Raid. But anyways, let's talk about the Mandarin, ladies and gentlemen. This man right here and these 10 rings, because even though they're basically bracelets in the movie, these actually give the Mandarin some pretty nasty powers. So what you're looking at right here is the comic book version of the 10 rings. I don't know why they chose to make it bracelets in the movie. I guess because the Mandarin is a martial arts master, so they're going to do a lot of hand-to-hand combat in the movie, and I guess with these small rings, they wouldn't be very visible for those big action scenes that they're going for. So maybe that's why they chose like bracelets, but either way, it's fine. Now, these rings are actually alien technology that were created by the Makluan, which is an alien race of like dragon type creatures, kind of like Fin Fang Foom. If you guys know Fin Fang Foom, you know he's pretty powerful, he's pretty dangerous. These rings were actually created by his race. And inside these rings are actually the souls of dead warriors similar to Fin Fang Foom. Think about a race of people who, when you die, they capture your soul and imprison you into these rings, and then these rings are actually used to power spaceships. That's what they were initially created for. However, one of these spaceships crash landed on Earth, and the Mandarin, being a ruthless savage, actually went, killed the pilot, and stole the rings. Now, keep in mind that the Mandarin, even without these rings, is incredibly powerful. He's a martial arts master who's able to survive without food or water for years. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Not days, not weeks, not months, but years. I don't know any normal human being that can go days without eating. This man, the Mandarin, can go years without eating. He's in peak physical condition. He's a martial arts master. In addition to that, he's incredibly smart. He's almost as smart as Iron Man. That is a very, very strong combination of Rip. And then you combine 10 different overpowered rings in that. That is an amazing character, if you ask me. Definitely worthy of being considered for a World Boss Legend difficulty. Let me tell you some of the things that the Mandarin can do with these rings, because he has 10 different rings that can do 10 different things. That's crazy. Most superheroes don't have 10 different powers, especially not 10 different powers of this caliber. Like, this man's left pinky can create ice, right? His left ring finger allows him to control the minds of people close to him. Meaning, if they're in close proximity to him, he can manipulate their mind and have them do his bidding, right? His left middle finger, he can actually shoot lightning. His left index finger is basically a flamethrower. He can shoot fire. Then his left thumb allows him to control energy and gravity. We have his right pinky finger, which basically allows him to absorb all light and control darkness. That's insane! And then his right ring finger allows him to basically disintegrate anything. It's a disintegration beam. However, there is a limit. I believe once he uses it, he has to wait 20 minutes to use it again. It's actually pretty crazy how many different powers this guy has. And then his right middle finger basically allows him to control air. Think of Avatar, The Last Airbender. Think of Aang, right? Think of how many times you've been driving and someone cuts you off in traffic and you waved your middle finger at them. Just imagine if you could have just used that middle finger to like put them back into their lane and go about your day. Okay, the Mandarin can do that because he can control air. That's crazy, man. And then his right index finger, I believe it's an impact beam that can fire like concussive energy or something like that. It's pretty crazy. And then here's the crazy thing on top of that, bro. His right thumb, Remaker, it shatters and reimagines relationships on a subatomic level. What does that mean? Basically, he can control molecules and atoms. He can literally create anything out of thin air with this ring. It's actually pretty crazy. He can turn air into gas. He can turn the gas into like solid metal. Like, it's crazy. The Remaker is one of the most powerful rings that he has, but all these rings are really, really dope. So I definitely think the Mandarin is the caliber of character that could qualify for a World Boss Ultimate stage. Maybe not a legend, but honestly, where we are in the game, I want more legends. I don't need more ultimate stages. We have like 10 of those already. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you let me know what you think. Do you guys think the Mandarin would make a dope new World Boss Legend difficulty? Now, one thing I'm not really sure about is if they bring Mandarin to the game as a new World Boss Legend difficulty, does that mean we're only going to get the movie version of Mandarin? Or does that mean we're going to fight him in his base form and then maybe he transforms throughout the fight and then we fight him in his movie version? If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll talk to you guys about that in a bit. So right here on the Future Fight forums, CM Fragment left us a message. It basically says, it has been told that a ruthless warrior wields the power of an ancient artifact. Living over hundreds of years, this powerful supervillain is able to manipulate the world behind the scenes. A deadly mastermind whose strength and skills are of legend enters. So again, they're using the word legend here. So I'm kind of hoping that this does not mean legendary battle. It could be legendary battle, right? Because with the Shang-Chi movie update, we are guaranteed to get a legendary battle. Anyways, here again, they said, will there be any agent powerful enough to defeat this legendary figure? Listen, even the weakest characters in Marvel Future Fight can beat legendary battle, okay? If you could use other characters besides the preset, like I'm sure Hulkling could beat legendary battle. So I'm hoping that what they're actually talking about is World Boss Legend. Because this is where it's at, bro. Just think of how many people have spent countless amounts of crystals to skip all these challenges, right? Just think about that. There's money to be made there for them, man. But hey, it might just be the ramblings of a madman. So one thing I'm kind of curious about, right? So with the Mandarin, if they do end up bringing him to the game as like some type of paywall or just a regular tier 1 character, do you guys think they're going to do what they did for Valkyrie, where we only got the movie version and then years later we got the OG version of Valkyrie? You guys remember when Ragnarok released, we got this version of Valkyrie and then we had to wait years to get this version? I don't think they're going to do that for Mandarin just because Mandarin is a little bit more popular than Valkyrie. Just a little bit. Nah, I feel like he's a lot more popular. But then they did do this for Nick Fury, where for Nick Fury we did get base Nick Fury and the movie uniform at the same time. So like we could see that. So let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna wrap it up right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Share your thoughts with me in the comments. I'm just like excited to see Mandarin in the game. 10 different rings, 10 different abilities, a martial arts master like Shang-Chi and Iron Fist. Man, this is gonna be lit. Also, do you guys think he's gonna be combat? With all these powers, I think he fits into like the universal category, even though he's generally fighting hand to hand. Well, from what we've seen in the trailer anyways, but in the comics, it can go anywhere, right? He can just disintegrate you, he can control your mind. There's just so many things that the Mandarin can do. So, hey man, this is gonna be interesting. I'll catch you guys in the next one.